Hello, and thank you for the opportunity to present to you a social media strategy for the Cape Breton Regional Police Service. This quote really captures the reason that we're even here talking about social media in your police service. An online presence in a modern world is as important as traditional policing methods, such as walking the beat. So first and foremost, congratulations for taking a very important step in 2014, launching your social media presence on both Facebook and Twitter. In the 2 years since, you've earned close to 7,000 likes on Facebook and just over 2,000 followers on Twitter. Through these channels, you're sharing pertinent crime and public safety information, as well as your presence at community events. But there remains significant opportunity to use social media tools for brand and reputation management, and further community engagement to build relationships and foster long-term confidence and support. It's these opportunities that we've identified for you with this strategy. But first, here's why social media plays such an important role in law enforcement and presents such a significant opportunity for your police service. In Canada, 1 in 5 internet users use Twitter, 71% use YouTube, and 19 million are on Facebook. Social media is the most popular online activity in the world. Citizens today not only rely on social media as a primary source of information, they expect it to be there. Social media provides an immediate, direct contact to citizens with quick potential for widespread reach. It helps organizations establish a trusted voice of authority to clarify misconceptions and dispel rumors. It facilitates two-way conversation, engaging and empowering citizens as part of the solution. Its characteristics are especially valuable for police agencies who use it to share information, gather intelligence, and engage with the community. This right here is the golden nugget. Its two-way, responsive, and conversational nature humanizes police, makes them accessible to citizens, facilitates interaction, and creates personal connection, all of which promote positive attitudes to help build relationships, trust, and confidence. And it's an important tool for police to hear what's being said about their department, as well as crime, quality of life, and events in their community. There are a few other important considerations behind this strategy. Recent events, albeit perhaps in other parts of the world, have cast a potentially negative shadow on the policing profession, and agencies need to demonstrate the positive. That fact will always be there. Locally, you've experienced some recent public criticism over a series of unfortunate union-driven tactics and officer errors or misconduct. And there will always be questions and concerns about the costs of policing. It's extremely important for the public to be properly informed and understand the true costs, demands, expectations, accountabilities, and value of the police service to their community to support sustainability and continued funding of that service. People rely on and trust word of mouth. Social media has the ability to bring people together, and through that has incredible potential to empower a positive word of mouth. Newsroom staff and resources continue to decrease, limiting their ability to cover as much depth and breadth. And local media, particularly print, recently appear unfavorably critical of the CBRPS. So it's imperative to find new ways to tell the complete and accurate and positive story. Build it and they will come does not work for a social media presence. Once established, it must be supported and actively maintained, or you risk losing credibility. Implementation of a social media strategy will depend upon the resources available to dedicate strictly to social media and properly manage its tools and content. As a loose guideline, social media and law enforcement experts suggest at minimum one person overseeing the entire program with a commitment of 1 to 4 hours per day to manage, monitor, and respond to content. Your target audiences include the general public, media, stakeholders such as employees, the police commission, and elected officials, and community partners like schools, nonprofits, volunteer associations, and other organizations with whom you share a mutually beneficial relationship. Specific messages would be tailored to individual campaigns or activities to resonate with target audiences. However, messages communicated through social media can and should be guided by the organization's principles, including its mission, vision, values, and motto. Messages can further build around the following concepts from the organization's social media presence. Provide an opportunity for the public to learn about the role of the organization in their community. Provide an important and direct link between the community and the agency. Provide a reliable and transparent source of information, and increase involvement with the community that you serve. So, this strategy proposes the following objective: to further enhance the online presence of your agency through social media, increasing awareness and understanding of its value, building meaningful relationships with the citizens it serves, and fostering sustainability through community support. We've outlined 5 key strategies and a number of tactics to help you achieve this. First, grow internal support for social media. Informed employees are engaged employees, empowered to act as ambassadors for an organization's cause and ultimately contribute to its reputation and success. The best and most useful content will come directly from the officers, and so they can play a vital role in developing your social media content under the leadership of communications staff. That means educating employees by attending briefings and conducting annual training sessions on the importance of social media and meaningful content they can help contribute. We also suggest designating social media champions in your organization to be the trusted eyes and ears for content ideas and eventually become content contributors. And a little friendly competition can go a long way to motivate officers to generate good social media content. If, for example, your agency is promoting a campaign to prevent distracted driving, there could be a competition to see who identifies the most distracted driving infractions. Communication staff would share the successes through social media, driving employees to do better than their colleagues for fear that they might be outdone by others. And in turn, all of this generates content that you can share through social media on your distracted driving efforts. Our second strategy is to leverage appropriate social media channels and tools because users want meaningful content. Delivering the content they want and need in the right way and through the right channels will engage them and have them coming back for information for the long term. In a society driven by mobile technology, humans have an increasingly short attention span. Research shows it's fallen from 12 to 8 seconds since the mobile revolution began, meaning a goldfish can even hold a thought for longer. It's also not practical for mobile users to read lengthy content on their devices. The answer is microcontent, clear, persuasive, and concise messages that are accessible to that detached consumer who's on the move with a very low attention span. And one of the most effective ways to do this is by combining images with short and catchy text in a sentence or two at most. Instagram is a photo sharing platform which gives users this visual content, provides a quick and simple means of adding content to a photo that can then be shared with users and integrated into other social media platforms. The photo could be a standalone piece or carry a link should users be interested in a more detailed description or story. But just because users like short and sweet content does not mean there's not a need for more detailed stories and information to be shared. It's just a matter of how we best share that information, which is why our next recommendation would be to create a blog that can be pushed through social media. Blogs provide the space to host the more detailed content that social media posts don't have room for, but that still speak to features that are of use and interest to your audience. A key message or a quote or other snippet can be pulled from the blog post and pushed as micro-content through all social media channels, specific to each channel's target audiences, to get users' attention to the topic and direct them back to the blog, creating wider readership. Blogs help drive traffic to your website. They establish your voice of authority, and they allow the use of multiple voices, depending on the most appropriate perspective and expertise for a given topic. We also encourage you to continue using Facebook and Twitter, but to tailor your content to match follower demographics. Posting content the same way on all your social media platforms is really a recipe to be ignored. These are two of the most popular social media platforms and places where you have an established presence to continue reaching target audiences. But each of them appeals to a different audience demographic and provides different ways of posting content. And the same will hold true if and when you move forward with Instagram. It's really essential to understand the strengths and weaknesses of each platform, figure out which is the best for communicating your intended message, and then customize your content to fit with each platform's strength. You should also create and use consistent hashtags. Primarily, hashtags make online searches easier since topics are arranged according to category. Hashtags can be used to introduce a new campaign, to reinforce value statements, and to easily monitor feedback and create brand recognition. Our next recommended strategy, tell the CBRPS story. As a full-service police agency, it's crucial that audiences understand the wide range of services and value that you provide to the community. Using the platforms identified in the previous strategy, you can share unique facts or stats about your service or the policing profession in quick and visually appealing ways. These could be timed strategically as part of other initiatives and key dates, or they could be created as standalone spontaneous content. And they may also provide the opportunity to link back to a feature on the blog or an existing section on the website. You could also profile officers, specialized sections or teams, or unique initiatives in quick and visually appealing ways. Photos or short videos can link back to a feature article on the blog or an existing section on the website. Again, these could be timed strategically, for example, a profile on the Marine unit as summer kicks off, or posted as standalone spontaneous content. And you can use social media to drive good news stories. Showcase officers interacting with the community, supporting events and charitable initiatives, or those feel-good stories of police response to public safety. Full feature stories can be published as blog posts and pushed through social media channels to help the story go viral, and often force media to cover the positive stories that they might not otherwise, because they have to cover what people are talking about. Strategy number 4 is to engage citizens in public safety efforts. Similar to employees, informed and engaged citizens are empowered citizens who can play an active role in maintaining a safe community. Because of its very nature, social media provides incredible opportunities for two-way, interactive, responsive, and meaningful dialogue with audiences. This forges positive and lasting relationships, trust, and confidence in your police service as the leading voice for public safety in your community. Open and friendly dialogue humanizes policing and eliminates barriers between officers and citizens. So use social media platforms to answer questions, ask for feedback, and encourage storytelling from your audience. Online partnerships, for example, tags and mentions in your posts with stakeholder organizations who target similar audiences, will help maximize your reach by sharing your content. Photos and videos that demonstrate safe behaviors or provide tips for how citizens can protect themselves or their property from the voice of an officer will help your police service reinforce its mandate by sharing pertinent information in the ways that audiences now expect from organizations. And this content then becomes part of your stock library and can be reused to maintain an active voice and presence on social media. Social media is based on conversations and provides the opportunity to listen to your audience and respond to the masses. These campaigns can be posts, videos, or more detailed blog articles depending on the length of the answer or the detail that you're able to share. Content can be driven by commonly asked questions or concerns raised through social media sites or in person to officers. And this is an area where those social media champions would be particularly helpful. An editorial calendar could outline monthly events, holidays, days of special and unique recognition, and internal and external campaigns or initiatives. And doing so would help you plan ahead for regular occurrences, as well as identify opportunities for the organization to piggyback on already existing social media content. Acknowledgement of national days have become a popular occurrence on social media, with short and even humorous, where appropriate, posts. The CBRPS can capitalize on this popularity and potential to become a trending topic for days that relate to your police service or topics that you would normally address and discuss. National months also provide an opportunity for partnership potential to create larger awareness campaigns. For example, Movember is a great opportunity to have a friendly competition like we discussed earlier, where officers and employees join teams and document their progress, both of the mustaches and the funds raised, on social media. Another example, which would take mere minutes, but would create fun and light conversation that would have a lasting effect with your audience, is something like National Donut Day. Last year, the Keller Police Department tweeted out, "So, who has the best donuts in town?" asking for a friend with the hashtag National Donut Day. Again, initiatives like these humanize the police force while giving back to the community, building the relationships and the trust. Our final strategy recommendation is to ensure ongoing analysis of your social media channels. Social media is a relatively new and changing medium. Trends change and audience engagement varies. Time and resources are spent to keep your channels active, so it's important that both you and your audiences are getting the most out of your content that's delivered. We suggest doing social media audits to determine what is and isn't working, and why. What gets the most traffic, the most shares? What are your audience demographics? And all of this can be used to regularly adjust your strategy and content accordingly. And watch the social media channels of other police agencies to see what they're doing and how they're engaging with their audiences. Like with any new initiative, it will be so important to measure the effectiveness of your social media efforts. You're investing valuable resources to maintain a social media presence, and so you must assess it to make sure those resources are properly allocated and to help guide your future efforts. First and foremost, you need something to measure against. So determine your baseline, where you're at now, and set some goals for where you want to go. Building relationships might not be something that you can easily quantify, but you could gauge it based on the number of user comments you receive on a platform, for instance. You could also set a goal to increase your followers by a set number and a set time as an indicator of your presence, or a specific number of shares on Facebook or retweets on Twitter to measure the level of your engagement and your reach. And you can track the number of visits to your new blog. Once your goals are set, there are a variety of tools to help gather and analyze social media data, most of which are free and built right into the platforms that you're using. Facebook Insights allows users to understand and analyze trends related to demographics, as well as monitor how content is created and consumed. Twitter is in the process of launching an analytics tool that will help users view information like mentions, the follower statistics, and demographics, as well as the effects of your tweets. Many blogging platforms have a function built right into the main dashboard that allows users to view trends through charts and graphs. And Google Analytics lets you choose the data that you want the system to capture for your website, things like page views, traffic sources, and time spent on the site, as well as bounce rates. We want to thank you again for the opportunity to recommend some ways that we think you can use social media to further enhance your online presence, increase awareness and understanding of your organization and its value, and build meaningful relationships with your citizens to help foster sustainability through their community support. We're now available to answer any questions that you may have on what we've presented, and we look forward to seeing your progress on these recommended strategies.